Oh, well, there we go.
We're good.
All right, I am calling the February 28th Boardman Park and Rec District Board meeting to order. We have at 6:01 p.m. I'll look on my agenda. Guess we're gonna do roll call and introduction of guests, so,
Did they always?
I'm left, yeah. Okay, so we have all of our board members. George is online. If you could please note that as being
Yep.
on Zoom. Who else do we have online with us?
Maritza Prado is jumping on.
Okay. All right, and then anybody else up there? Is that it?
That's it. It's just George and Maritza
Okay.
so far.
And then Takeo, are you here as a staff or individual?
Just individual.
Individual? Okay. Takeo Villegas individually, and then Luis, are you gonna be addressing us tonight?
No.
Okay, Luis Campos in listen only mode. And then were you gonna be addressing us as well? On an individual basis? Okay. So Takeo in listen only mode.
Because she
All
answered
right, and then
questions.
Lynn Craig, obviously here as well. Approval of meeting agenda. So we do need to add under new business that we need to make a motion to elect Lynn Craig. If everybody's okay. To make a motion to elect Lynn Craig to the Moore County Parks Committee, representing Boardman Park and Rec District.
You want to under new business?
New business, please. Are there any other comments on the agenda? Word? No?
No.
Oh,
You
thank you.
haven't taken? No.
No,
All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
That we approve the agenda stated with the changes mentioned.
All in favor? Oh, second, please.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye. George, are you voting tonight? Can you hear us? Wave a little hand or something? All right, well,
Yes, I can hear you. I'm in favor.
okay, thank you. We're passed unanimously. Shelby,
Got
minutes of the previous board meeting. Have you guys had a chance to review those?
Right.
I did. I didn't see anything that may have changed on our, I'm talking about January 24th. Let's start with that one. If not, I'll take a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
I so move.
I second.
All in favor?
Right.
All opposed? Oh, I'm sorry. Did we get a bunch of ayes? Norma, are you good? Yeah, David, you're good?
Yeah, the only one we didn't get was George, because he motioned.
I'm
Okay.
trying to go back and forth, muting, unmuting, so I'm an aye.
You're doing a great job.
So Shelby, did I?
You didn't send me the 1 night.
Okay.
Ask me to put it on the agenda if I can get
We can
this.
attach it. That's probably about. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. It's here.
Forgot about that.
And I really need this in here, so let me just read it real quick, because it was one of those dates where we went into executive sessions. All I had to do is say we called the meeting, went into executive session, and then pulled back out. But did we finish the 124 vote? Okay,
Yeah, that
great.
one's fine.
Thank you. So then, February 6th. If you guys are okay with that, I would take a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the February 6th meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed?
I'm an aye.
Thank you. It's executive session. Well. Don't know. I did not send it to you, huh? Oh, maybe this is it. I've got a lot of stuff. Okay, this is it. Make sure these are in board. Says January 9th, 2023, meeting called to order at 5 p.m. Present were board members Krista Price, George Scheimer, David Boer, John Christie, and Norma Ayala. District Council Shada Lee with Baron Liebman, LLP. 5:01 p.m. Board Chair temporarily adjourned the public meeting to go into executive session under ORS 192.66028 to consult with the legal counsel to consider information exempt from public inspection in ORS 192.66028 to consult with legal counsel concerning rights and duties with regards to current or litigation likely to be filed. In ORS 192.66028 to review and evaluate the employment related performance of the CEO and any public body, public officer, employee, staff member who does not request an open hearing. Reconvened public meeting at 7:02 p.m. Norman moved to adjourn the meeting. David seconded the motion. Meeting adjourned at 7:02 p.m.
Why did I read that somewhere?
I know.
I read it.
I know. I don't know if you did or not, but
I
this
read
one I
it.
do need put in our packet.
Okay.
Oh, boy, can I? Yeah, I can, because you put it on.
Yeah, I put it on the agenda.
Okay,
so.
so. Does anybody want to move to this?
Yeah, I'll move to approve that.
A second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Can you pass that down to Shelby? Thank you.
Where's this? What? George.
There wasn't already.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Okay, Shelby, are we coming back to financials? No problem. No problem.
Sick to my stomach over it.
That's
But
all right.
I will get them to you, I promise.
Yeah, if you could just send them out to the board whenever you get those done. So I'm gonna put a table on that one. And if we don't see them, we'll need to make sure we approve those on the next,
Great.
right? Tabled to 3/2/023 meeting. Okay, district policy updates.
So Lynn asked me to include all of the policies that Rebecca had originally proposed to you guys, and then give you kind of a recommendation of some of the things that, whether we thought we should go with them or not. Just so we can have a discussion, and if we weren't gonna do anything with them, just say we're not gonna do it now. That way we can get them off of the
Meetings.
meetings for now.
We didn't read that.
Who page are we at, Shelby?
Page 19.
So. How about we come back to this one? Can we come back to it?
I feel like it was a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot, and
And I mean, we
There's
already
a lot
did
to
get
be
it.
said on them.
We already did get it, but
And I'm not saying we're not gonna discuss it. Let's, if you don't mind, I just need to clear my head on everything else. So is that all right, board, if we move on and we'll come back to that?
Come back later in the meeting, or we'll come back later.
Tonight.
oh, tonight.
And then if we need to, we can table it further from there, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna skip over that insurance. Okay. Somebody don't let me forget that. We're kind of I did, on a side note, I did think that the proposal for the employee handbook for the address for addressing the background checks and the reference check policy, that appeared to be good, except I didn't see anything that was labeled Appendix A. And I mean, I know they attached it, but if you're going to attach something, you have to put the actual Appendix A at the top of it or the bottom of it as a
Oh.
label.
I have a
one?
problem with that because we're going to have to change that every year. As the legislature
Oh,
changes thing, I don't even know if this is current. This was as of 2018. She
Oh.
lifted this right from Bend.
oh,
It's where it came from. But,
then
you know,
yeah, you're right. It's
I don't know if it's good. Why
Yeah.
don't you make it simple and why don't you just say any felony would require a discussion by the board. Something along those lines. And you'd get rid of all these item by item. We included in here the updated criminal expungement law, which was passed in January of 22, but it's still current. If somebody has a felony conviction, it can be expunged. It's like it never happened. After a period of years, if they haven't
Good behavior.
haven't had any other crimes and they've completed the conditions of their sentence. So it isn't a forever thing. People can be forgiven. I think sometimes you make things too technical. That don't have to be. We're just saying if somebody has a record, let's look at it.
The only problem, I guess I would want to know what legal counsel said, because
Right.
if we all like the guy or gal, you know, I mean, with having a set parameter, it kind of
It's
doesn't
not
us open
it's
us
not
up for
subjective.
litigation.
It isn't set though.
Huh?
It isn't set even with this. I mean, it's just saying. We'll look at it. And there's appeals. But it doesn't say if they, have a reckless driving conviction, for example.
I would like to know what the port has. And I don't think we ever got an answer on that.
What I got from Brandy was they don't have a set so-called policy in place. It's a case-by-case basis. They look at it and
Wow.
they look at the personal background of the person. And then they compare it to the job and figure out if the red flags that are in there are anything that is gonna relate to what their job is.
Kind of like the driving, the whole DUI and the
Yeah.
driving thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't disagree with that, but I want our lawyer
Right,
pay money to say this will not cause problems.
right. I agree.
Because there's so many laws out there.
Did we ever check?
She was working with Monica on it, but I don't know if Monica ever sent anything back.
I couldn't find anything.
I don't know, sorry to interrupt, but like, can we we need to almost take this and and you almost need to re-look at it and see if anything's actually really legal still here. Oh, I don't have a lack of trust
Mhm.
of that.
That's
So,
what David's saying, that
Yeah,
basically run it past his DAO first.
yeah, I don't,
Okay,
but I don't disagree with you, maybe their SDAO has an easier way for us to look at it, versus all line. Especially if we were just taking it from someone else, maybe they don't. Right in there.
yeah,
So-
and obviously it was in 2018,
She just.
when I did it, it
And
was
it's,
bad.
and it's worth us
She did.
asking, and then
Sure,
it gets simpler than this,
Thank you, Darren.
that's.
Okay, I'll get Lynn. Monica did reply. It was before we brought you on. Okay, so it's, but I do have an email from Monica,
okay,
and I pretty much said, hold the phone. We'll have to get back to you.
okay, I have not seen that. I think it's dangerous not to have a policy.
Yeah.
So I think we need to address it.
Agreed.
It's been.
Yeah, of course, David's been trying to get it done for forever. Since he's been here.
2.5 years. It's
Right.
She and I don't know. Well, what was you having an employment?
Okay, we may come back to some of these other ones like vacation pay. I'm a little concerned over the whole holidays thing because we are a red district, so.
We'll take, you wanna get, that's the people.
Well, we're gonna go down to
If you're skipping it's way back.
trespassing up.
Pretty clear.
Well, in the trespassing, you guys were talking about was part of the background check using that.
No, it was Norma Ayala's with the two gals that. No, yeah,
But you guys had talked about using kind of
This.
this part of it. the breakout, so.
But I thought you were gonna give an update because you talked to Spencer.
Or whoever the girl was that emailed me.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
So
sent
what
you
did
that
they say?
email.
What did they say?
So they said that we should follow what our policies have. And we should look at what we have in our policies. And I said, I think we're trying to get some policies in place, but
Oh, that's,
we don't have them for sure.
that's right.
So. Yeah. But according to this, if we use it right now, it's a lifetime ban.
Does court have any input on that?
Well, talking about forgiving somebody that's got a felony. At some point, I mean, we have to have a policy, I mean, they come on and park and kill somebody, maybe a lifetime ban.
Well,
is relevant.
the expungement is for. What do they call it? Non-personal,
Non-person to person.
yeah,
Yeah, like a drug thing or.
yeah,
a
non-person
Crime
person.
to
And
equipment.
to my understanding, this was an assault,
It was an assault. With a deadly weapon.
yeah. Which.
Is there a record? Because we as the park district just did a trespassing order, right?
Yes, with the
Okay.
police department.
Which we can do. yeah.
Yeah.
But if
Okay,
I
but the
go-
district attorney lowered this down. It did not become, the original charge was not what the conviction was for. So that's the thing, that's another part you gotta look at, just because that's what the charge was, that was not what the conviction was for. Because from what I understand, it was put down to a misdemeanor.
you could
Yeah,
still
tell us what-
trespass somebody,
Well, and it was also an employee, like as
It
they
was
were
an
working,
employee.
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, they
That
weren't on
per-
duty
they
when
weren't on duty.
they were not on duty.
Okay.
It was after hours.
I guess that person had already harassed our employee, so she was fired. From the park, and then she went and did this. So it was like a continuous thing. And I'm just gonna tell you guys, honestly, from my experience, because that employee was my niece. And, one of those girls is taking it personal to my family, to myself and to my daughter by calling my daughter names while she was at work. So, and my daughter was 17 at this time, so she's talking to a 17-year-old, calling her names. Like, is my daughter gonna be attacked? So they came and told me, so I went over there and talked to her at her job. And then she told me that they can't talk. She said that she didn't call my daughter any names. So I said, okay, well, you're working and you shouldn't be talking like this. So, I talked to her boss, and one of the girls, she said she didn't say that to me. To her boss, she said she did say it.
So here's the deal. So
Guys hear me?
regardless of what happens personally, okay, so we're
Exactly.
here
They
to
muted
act-
me.
we're acting on, our job's here to be.
Yeah.
To be for the public, right? Not for us personally.
Mhm.
So. I guess I want your opinion on what, is this something, so SDAO basically told us that we need to go to our policies, and yet we don't have anything in our policies for this, correct? Other than we do
Yeah.
have the ability to put the trespassing on and in place in the first place. And was it a full ban from the whole park and anything owned by the park?
Yes,
Not owned
yeah,
or operated by the
yeah,
park?
I talked to Ted and that's what he said.
And they made it a lifetime ban, is that?
And my only concern is she gonna get mad at somebody at the rec center and then just wanna do something there at the rec center? That's where I'm coming from.
Let's try to keep this. Let's try to keep this as, when we talk about this situation, as the people that are wanting the ban lifted versus. This could be anybody, right? I mean, we could
Yeah.
go trespass anybody tomorrow and have the same thing at our next meeting. So let's look at this as I guess, as a whole and try to figure out what we want to accomplish on. Because whatever we do here is going to set precedents for anything else that happens in the future, is what I'm getting at. So what are your opinions?
But
George, do you wanna weigh in on this conversation? John, David?
Well, I'll start.
I do, but I'm just checking in my rooms here, so just give me a second and I'll get back with you.
We'll let David speak.
So. You do something wrong in our society, you get thrown in jail, you serve your time. We'll give you, society gives you, but I don't know what the second chance is, but. We're a society of second chances. You've done your time, whatever that time is, we can decide what that is, but people should get a chance, because we've all got second chances. And different things. I would hate for one mistake. And not ever get a second chance. Now, sometime. But two teenagers getting in a fight, I've seen that every weekend when I was a kid. You know, and people grow up. Some people don't. But I'm for a second chance at some point. Yeah, you murder somebody, I'm probably not gonna be that much of a, but you're gonna spend a lot more time for murder. You get 35, 40 years. You know,
Yeah, and this was dropped to a misdemeanor. It was not a felony.
Who was on the, who, you and George were on the remaining board members when this came about, correct?
Yeah, Lynn was here as well, not as a secretary, right? When,
No, it
Okay.
was
No.
June of 21.
oh,
Yeah.
Before we came on.
I was on the board.
Or no, it was August of 21, so it would have been right after you guys came to court. It happened, the incident happened during a board meeting.
No,
Yeah.
we were not on the board because the person that was working here, the one that was assaulted, she was not on the board when I started. I mean, she was not working here when I started.
Yeah,
on the
because
board.
that,
This is going on. the-
She was on when
I
I
was
was.
curious. I don't remember it must have been right at the, if it was right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so. When I look at this and when we talk about lifetime ban, we're talking about obviously their entire life. So the person's 20 years old and we're talking about when they're 80 years old, 90 years old, that's forever, right?
Yeah.
Like, do I think that 2 years is enough time? To be honest with you, probably not. I don't think it's enough time to say it's just okay. No, I think that there has to be a more significant time period, in my opinion. If it's a lifetime, I don't know about that, but I do know in terms of, because I don't remember that discussion, but I remember, I would say that. I don't know what the number is, but I know 2 years doesn't seem okay.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think that it shouldn't be a lifetime. Because like I've said, I've done things and I'm, whatever, I'm glad people forgave me. But it didn't take me 2 years to change, especially after, I guess this is where I'm getting at.
so is the consensus that we would want to deny the removal of the trespassing at this point, and then when we get our policy in place, we'll abide by the terms of whatever we agree on that?
I think it's a better way to go, especially since
Yeah.
we'll have that check with ACO or
Right.
DAO. Right now, we're at that place and it's okay to already keep what's already been in place until we can get it checked out.
Right,
Yeah, we're not at the liberty right now to make a
Right.
decision.
right. Yeah, because I'm almost thinking that if it was prosecuted as a misdemeanor, or that's what it ended up being, and that's what they were charged with was a misdemeanor, then I would have to agree with whatever the timeframes of that for under Oregon statutes are, that I would be more likely to go with those timeframes. So if that's a 3 to 5 year or 2 to 5 year, then I would go with that. That would be my goal.
Yeah.
And not be personal about it, but be based on what was charged.
I guess I was just trying to tell you guys how I don't believe they have changed because of this incident from last year. So I believe they can change, but I just don't think it has happened yet. And this soon, especially from what happened last year. So I believe they can change. it's just gonna take time. It's not gonna take a year.
George, do you want to weigh in so we can wrap this up?
Yep, you know, in the stuff we were looking at, when it, those are, that list of all the crimes and stuff, that was all set up, that's more of the background check kind of stuff. When
Well, we lost him.
Oh, there,
We lost him.
he's coming back.
Yeah,
There
I'm
you-
trying to come back.
I'm back, am I back?
Yeah, you
Am I
probably want to
on?
take the camera off because your
Can you hear me?
internet connection's not great.
Okay, I'll do the best I can here. I'm not good at this stuff. Yeah. Anyway, the then asking to be having the trespass removed is, in my opinion, I like how it's set up on the crimes as well. If we're going to remove a trespass from someone, I think the time that is set on those papers that we want to follow, I'm good with those. And in this circumstance, I don't see anything before a 5-year allowing someone to come back on where one of our employees was attacked, even though it was off duty on our property. That one I just have a hard time. If someone did something to anybody and then they come back and they wanted, if they went after a camper, would that make a difference on how much
Okay.
time we let them go before this trespass is removed? So
Okay, So-
I'm not in favor of letting them back in at this point.
okay. So at this point then, the consensus is that, we're gonna leave the trespassing ban in place for the 2 individuals that addressed the board at our last meeting. And, we will work on getting our policies in place for when we could have a definitive answer on when that would be subject to or have the ability to be lifted based on the ORS statutes for what was charged, not charged, but what was eventually convicted of. Does that make sense? Okay. On a final note then, I don't see that both of our participants are online tonight, so,
I think they were both things.
are we gonna, we need
I
to,
need to go.
we told them we would address it and get back to them, so do we have a form of contact for them?
I believe we have emails for both of them.
Okay, okay. So I would suggest just, when you get your minutes drafted, you could certainly provide a copy of the proposed minutes. They won't be approved, of course, till next
Right.
month.
Okay.
But you could provide a copy of those and say, this is what was discussed, this is what we've decided, and it's here in the minutes that are not yet approved, probably will be in March. Does that make sense? Okay. Is that okay with the board?
Yes.
Yes,
If anybody has any, okay, thank you. Anybody has any issues on that, let me know. All right. Update on SDAO conference. I know George and Shelby attended. I know I attended on Zoom. George, do you have anything that you wanted to say that was interesting that you learned on that particular voyage?
I do. The biggest thing is going to be our communication pieces with each other. We cannot get 3 people together to talk about business at all, and that would include text messages at all. We put 3 people on a text message, we just formed a meeting, and we got to make sure we're not doing that.
So
if a message were to go out, like if you want to send something out through email to everybody, and you send a text message, check your email, that is okay. Okay, just don't respond back.
Thank you. That was the
No one should
part there.
respond back to everybody.
Right. So you can respond back.
That
and
was actually
you can reply all,
Okay.
which I've noticed that,
correct.
yeah. Tom's got-
Individually, you can respond back.
You'll send a separate text or whatever.
It's just from the school, that's why they do the same
And I
thing.
mean, we did this class already. So I remember that, but I forgot about it.
I mean, you got hit in the head twice, so.
Okay, Shelby, do you have anything that you, that came to mind as far as something you remembered or learned, anything interesting from that?
Oh, I had lots of stuff and I forgot my book. But the two biggest things that I brought back was so with the pay equity law, we have to get a equity analysis done every 3 years to make sure that we are in line with the pay equity laws, so that if somebody was to ever say, hey, you're not paying me the wages I should be paid, and I'm doing a job that is of comparable character, and this person is making a lot more, as long as we've done that equity analysis, it can help protect us from litigation. So that is something that I'm working with SDAO to try and get going. It's gonna take some time for you to be able to get that going and get that done. But along with that is we really need to establish a set of pay scales that we are willing to pay each of our positions, and have a policy in place that says, okay, if they're coming in green, this is where we start them. But if they have 20 years of experience, this is where we go, and have that really laid out. And that goes in line with it as well.
Interesting, thank you. It's an ever change, I mean, I'm growing and learning all this stuff. Apparently Karen knew all this by heart.
Oh, no.
I didn't realize that if you want to pass an ordinance, that you had to have a hearing for it first, which I didn't know that.
We've never done. one
I know.
here, so I've never had-
I don't think the park has ever passed an ordinance.
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't know that. And then the other thing I found interesting is that if somebody asked if a deaf person needs a translator, are we required to provide a translator? And the answer was yes.
Yes.
If they do not have their own, meeting would have to pretty much be canceled if we can't provide one, which I thought was interesting as well.
They're supposed to provide,
Notification.
yeah,
They
notification 24
gotta give you
hours.
time to
Oh, okay.
find something.
They can't just
Yeah.
pull up.
They can't just show
they
up
have to
and
give
say, here I am,
notification.
and you have to provide a translator, and I'm deaf.
They
No,
they
they
made it
have-
sound as though you'd have to cease and desist. So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's.
That's state law, I believe.
I did,
Finish yours up.
I found it interesting that I knew media could attend executive session. But what I did find interesting though, is if we get off topic in the executive session. So when the media is there and we're in executive session, we have to stick to the one and only topic that we went in under, because if they catch the fact that we've switched topics to something else, they can certainly report on that. They don't even have to tell us they're doing that. We would just find out in the paper.
That's why it's important for us, you know, not here to do that
Yeah,
like all the time, so it's not.
yeah, it's interesting. They also said, which I did not realize, about the Zoom link. They were saying that, which I don't know if that's how the city got in trouble or not, but they said that when we have a Zoom link, and we go into executive session, we are supposed to put that link on hold. We can't turn.
Yeah, that's what I told you guys last time.
Yeah, I heard that at that there too, so I've got to
Cause
figure out how to do.
I
I
knew
know.
we couldn't.
I know.
Never done it, so.
Yeah, it's super scary because you're
Yeah.
still being, you're still, there's the potential, right? that
Yeah.
you're still
We gotta
there.
Google that, right?
Yes.
Gotta Google how to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause I
How
was
to
like,
put it in
wait,
there
we
and then
can't,
put people in the waiting.
cause I
room
knew that
and-
we
yeah.
couldn't log
Yeah.
out. We had to like pause it.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to try to remember that, for when we go in. And, I made a note here. It says new board members are not privy to the previously taken notes in executive session. But the new board can provide approval for those notes to be reviewed by a new board member if they so choose.
Yes,
I also found that interesting. I did not know that. So, make sure Zoom links are established for our public meetings as reasonably possible. So not that we have to, but we want to try, right? They're
Right.
saying,
well, we have to provide it by Zoom now.
Oh.
After COVID, we have to provide everything by Zoom.
it
have
says
to do-
as reasonably possible.
Well, for notice wise,
Yeah.
it's reasonably
Yeah.
possible, but no matter what, anytime we do any kind of a meeting, it has to be done by Zoom. We have to be able to give that option.
Yeah, and then just one last thing here, social media and posting, public employer discipline for bad employee comments, on social media. That they were very adamant that you have a due diligence and, that you should make sure that you take those due diligence steps before taking any action or reprimanding even that employee, because they have the ability to claim free speech under certain things.
Yep.
On there on Facebook. Yes.
Yeah, so those were my notes. I thought it was very interesting.
But I imagine those would be in the employee policy handbooks about being on social media during work time, so.
Mhm.
I think they covered it there in that case.
Yeah, it was
Let's
just
say they weren't at
interesting 'cause
work.
they gave examples.
Yeah, if you're not at work, I mean, it totally makes sense. like,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Um,
If you're at work and you're like, yeah, I'm going to the bathroom and I'm gonna,
Right.
just like this.
Well, and it was even more than that. It was about the fact that it's about people complaining about things that go on at work, regardless if they're at work or not. They-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Okay, David, I know.
I
you
got
were
one
there.
more thing that was come up.
Okay,
I got one more thing that stuck out. When we go to do voting, this is interesting. The voting is passed by the majority of the board, not majority of a quorum. So if we didn't have a full quorum, you still have to pass
But
with
without
a
a quorum,
majority of the board.
which
So
is-
if we had only 4 people tonight, like you 4 voted, you still have to have 3, which no problem there. But let's say we're at 3, if there was 3 people at the meeting, you would have to have, all 3 would have to pass whatever was being passed at.
Yeah.
I never heard that before until this thing.
If
You
you
know,
don't-
our voting
if you're not there to
has
vote,
to be
it's a no
public,
vote?
there's
Oh.
no secret ballot.
No, it's like whatever.
No, not necessarily. That depends on our policy, how we state it. So if, and we don't have anything saying
Oh,
yes
that
or
one we
no. on
created?
it.
So do you understand what he's saying? Krista?
no, I'm totally
Okay,
lost on
So
that.
if Norma wasn't here tonight and George wasn't online and it was just you 3.
Yeah.
And you guys voted on something.
Yeah,
To pass it, all 3 of you would have to pass it unanimously. It could not just be 2
Two.
2 out
of
of 3.
the 3.
Has to be 3
It has to be 3 out of 3, because it's still a majority
has
of,
to be
yeah,
the board.
I guess I never
Yeah.
thought differently.
yeah.
Yeah, that was news to me.
That was the-
So,
Good point.
Everybody who's attending,
Right.
No.
right? The majority of who's attending.
No, it's
No.
a majority.
no,
of
no,
the
no,
board.
no, it's gotta be the majority of all 5 of us, which is
How
3.
many?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So no
right.
matter what, no matter, even if there's only 3 of you.
I
it
guess
has to
that's
be
what
all
I meant.
3.
We couldn't have the meeting anyway if we didn't have at least.
Correct.
3.
But if we were gonna pass something,
But if there was 2 to 1, you wouldn't.
yeah, you'll have enough votes passed. Has to be 3.
Yeah.
All 3. If it's just 3.
Yes, correct.
That's. What did you have?
So from that conference? Oregon leave at, within in January is going to be a real interesting deal.
Right?
if you make less than 68,000. You get 100% for 3 months, and the way they talk, you could roll it right into the federal leave. And you could really get 6 months. The kicker is, it's not just family. If it's a good friend of yours,
Oh, yeah. It's the most ridiculous.
So
thing
then-
ever.
Oh, yeah.
if you make less than 100, between 68 and 132,000. You get 80% of your, when you're on leave, you get 80% of your salary.
So my question
If you
is,
make over 130, you're paying the most money of everybody.
and you get the
You
least.
get 58%
Oh,
of the
wow.
salary.
So question, what are they making you provide proof of that says you're eligible for it?
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's what I want.
And really, you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be at the mercy of whoever you talk to.
Is what it will.
Well, no, it will go well. Right now, we're paying like 0.06 or 0.006.
Gonna
Less
be
than a
a
percent.
deficit.
What they're gonna have to do is before long, it's gonna be 4% because of so many people. I mean, it's just,
Not wanting to
it's
work.
not well thought out.
Who doesn't want to go take care of their sibling every year to make up for what you put in? All right. It's interesting, huh? I
Oh,
know,
it's
it's
fine.
like, I'm waiting to see what the qualifications are. Like what entitles, like what do they have to turn in to prove that they took care of somebody? Otherwise it'd be like PPP stuff going on again.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the thing is that you look at the majority of the workforce, that makes less than 68,000.
Yeah.
They're getting 100%. What incentive they have to go to
That's-
work?
Exactly.
You know, especially if you can roll it into 6 months.
That's
There's no
what they're trying
incentive
to
not
do.
to
I
claim
think
it,
they're
is
trying
what there
to
is.
keep us broke. Literally.
Okay,
That's it.
I was,
anything else,
Let's
David?
move.
Okay.
We talk on
All right, update on district manager position.
I can talk on
that. So we all could.
Update.
Hold on, I'm looking to see if we have anything under. Is this where I'm gonna have everybody? Oh, yeah, it is.
Yes, I said, this is all your stuff.
So even though you authorized me to engage services of the SDAO Consulting Services Program, they specifically wanted you guys to approve the draft of the timeline that was included in the packet. And they also wanted you to approve the fact that I signed off on their fees not to exceed, I don't know, whatever it is.
I think you said 5,000.
Yeah.
It's 5,000 again.
Yep, yep. So I need a motion to approve specifically the consulting services programs. Consulting services agreement, I'm sorry. That board chair signed off on 213.
it. I shall move.
Thank
Thank
you.
George for the idea.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Oh,
All
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
You did
And
vote?
I also need, I'm sorry,
Did you vote?
fine.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure we had 3.
Did you post?
And then I need a motion to approve the draft of the timeline.
This one, okay.
So, and the only comment on that I was gonna say is the March 24th one. I know that's during spring break, but that is their review. So that's them saying they're gonna be reviewing the items there. That is not us.
Thank you. I'd like to still be married.
So I would need a
Really?
motion to approve the Boardman Park and Rest District recruitment timeline provided by the SDAO Consulting Services.
I shall move.
Awesome.
Thank you. All in favor?
Bye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, hold on just a sec. I have a lot of.
So this looks like this will be, since we moved it, this will be the dates.
Those will be our dates, yeah. Yeah, with, I don't know, we get the right date on the meeting one.
I hate doing this,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. Okay.
I'm really excited about
How are you?
it.
Feel like a
oh.
veteran now.
Oh, yeah.
Joking. No,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Okay, well, that's out of the way. Hold on, I'm gonna make a note. Send to,
So we can't hang out.
You can, you just can't talk about anything board related.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Pretty much other stuff.
that's easy.
So you know what I need? So eventually when you get those minutes typed up, that's what I'm gonna need. Sorry, the proposed minutes again
For this
for
meeting?
this meeting where they approved me to. have
Okay. Yep.
I thought you were about to say vacation. So you're going.
Mhm. Hold on, I'm getting there.
I don't know why you guys are waiting on me to write notes.
Okay. All right, next would be then new business. No, old, I'm here, not on the agenda. We have to get porta potties installed, like David asked. We did get those.
Yeah, there's one down there.
Nice.
Perfect. Let me make sure I got that. New business, election reminder. So Shelby was kind enough to put this in here. It is also on the Morrow County Clerk's website.
March 16th.
March 16th is our filing deadline, and it is David, George, and Krista all up for reelection.
Yep.
Okay. So you would want to complete your SEL 190 form and remit it to the Morrow County Clerk's office by March 16th with a $10 filing fee. Okay.
Wait, how many years is it after you?
Four.
Or
Yeah, so
They
you
go
guys
to the
will be
vice
up in
mayor.
25.
What?
You guys will be up for reelection.
Then you'll have to remind me then.
Yeah. That's okay.
Just to keep coming here until you say, you need to do this.
Yep.
Dang, three.
I received an email from, the next one is the motion to move or to have Lynn Craig. So I received an email for the Morrow County Parks Committee meeting, that's scheduled for March 7th. I very nicely with folded hands begged Lynn to attend this for us, and she said that she would. So I was hoping that we could get a motion to approve or to appoint Lynn Craig as our Boardman Park and Rest District representative to the Morrow County Parks Committee so that she could attend this meeting on our behalf.
I'll make a motion to appoint Lynn Craig to the Morrow County Committee, Parks,
Unified, yeah.
Unified.
As a representative of the district. So do we have a second?
I'll say that.
Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Aye.
All right,
George?
Aye.
Thank you. All opposed, same sign. Never mind, we don't have any. All right, so that passed. Get rid of that. Approval to change the March meeting date and approval of the budget calendar.
Yeah, for the March meeting, they called in spring break.
Yeah, so what happened? So
So,
what happens if we move it? What,
I mean,
so we just have to vote to move it, and then we just have to put out our notice ahead of time saying that we've moved it.
so we want to move the whole meeting, which
Mhm.
includes this, one of the meetings on here?
Yes.
Okay,
And since it's just appointing the budget committee, it has nothing to do with like the hearings or when I have to post the notice of the hearings.
okay,
We're good to change that one.
okay. It doesn't affect the rest of the
No.
calendar. Okay,
No.
thank God.
It only
All right.
affects that one.
So board, tell me what's going on and what you have available then for the month of March, knowing that I'm assuming you guys, the 20th through the 24th is your week off, correct?
No, the 24th through
Oh,
that week
already.
is spring break.
Thank you
so
for pointing that out. So the 24th through basically the 31st or the 1st of April, that's when you guys are gone. Right, okay. So you are available then on, say, the 21st? Or the well, probably not the 23rd, probably the 21st, maybe?
21st is better for me personally. I don't know. everybody else.
I don't know if I have a softball game, but it's good.
You don't have a softball game. Well, actually, hang on. I can tell you because I put them all down. You have a
I'm
softball game.
good.
Well,
It's home.
I'll be able to get it.
We're good.
It starts at 4.
Yeah, I'm good. The 21st.
George, are you okay with moving the meeting to March 21st? It's the preceding Tuesday. Be the third Tuesday instead of the fourth Tuesday.
Good.
Okay, good. All right,
So we're locked in the
So-
21st down.
yeah, so let's make a motion to move our March hold on, March
The March regular meeting.
28th meeting
Yeah.
to March 21st. And to
Make an amendment. to
make an
the
amendment to
budget
our
calendar.
2023-24 budget calendar that's going to appoint the budget committee on that same date, the March 21st date.
So we move the regular board meeting from the 28th to the 21st. And then make an amendment to our budget calendar to move to the budget meeting from the 28th to the 21st.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you,
Is that
Norma.
6 p.m.?
Yeah, all in favor? Aye. George, I'm looking at you. Thank you. No, nobody opposing. Okay, so then, we do need an approval of the actual budget calendar with the March 21st dated, date amended on that, number 4 item.
I'll make a motion to approve the 23-24 budget calendar with the number 4 moved to March 21st.
Thank you. We have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, George. George is an aye as well. All right. Good deal. Shelby, are we good with everything on that?
Yep.
All right. Administrative IT rights. I received an email from Johnson IT. And he is saying that, an administrator account is needed to install software and do some functions that may be needed when I'm out of town or unavailable. Is there someone you would like me to create a separate administrator account for in case I'm unavailable? Also, would you want the primary administrator account password to save somewhere safe if something were to happen to me? So basically he's questioning if something bad happens to him, and we're all like, oh gosh, how do we even get into our servers? How do we get into anything? We need to have that probably stored with a person. So are we gonna put that with our park secretary? Are we gonna put it with our DM? Are we gonna put it with the board chair? Because supposedly I'm supposed to get a locking file cabinet someday. That we can put stuff in.
I have a file cabinet if you want it in lots.
What's the board's preference? This is, I don't care either way. I just need to know. What's hard on me is I really want the control of that because in our most recent incident, it just makes it easier to be able to have the board chair pull that info.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that I would be, I think, especially circumstantial, I think we should have that, or the board chair should have that.
Okay. So I would definitely need that locking file cabinet as SDAO suggested. I don't know if you ran on that.
I'm sure the
conversation.
school district has lots of surplus. file
Idea
cabinets.
Okay,
I can
we
look.
order
I can
one.
look,
It's not
George,
that big.
good idea.
But, so I had consulted with SDAO because the DM didn't like, having personal records of the DM filed with everybody else's records.
Right.
And so the SDAO said, absolutely, your board chair can hold those things. But it needs to be in a locked file cabinet that they have keys on, and then when that's passed to the next board member, they have access to it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So if you guys are okay with that, then I'll have Shelby get a locking file cabinet, even if it is tiny, and we'll keep that here at the office, and then the board chair would always have the keys to that.
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Do I need a motion for that one?
Probably should.
Okay.
But I have a record of it.
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, so I would entertain a motion
I
to,
so move.
okay, Thank you,
I'll
George.
second.
all right, all in favor of the board chair having control over the administrative right?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright,
Thank you.
just don't go anywhere with that Johnson guy. Can't have you both going the same.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
right,
Not running away with it.
my employee might not be too happy with it. Since I employ her. Cast of a board chair.
Oh wait, is that your employee's husband? Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm not doing.
And just for the record, that, I mean, in case anybody looks back on that record, but the idea is that the information would be stored in that locked file cabinet, okay?
Mhm.
And not on premises of anybody's homes.
In here.
Yeah.
Which means I got a spot.
Right.
I mean, just gotta let him know.
Okay, got that out of the way. I need to get back to Bill. Email Johnson. IT.
Bill Johnson.
Okay, got that out of the way. Credit card discussion. Okay, yeah, let me find my notes on that.
I would like to say something before we address that. Not having a credit card has caused all kinds of problems for all of us. We have Adobe, we have Canva, HeadRush. When I work Microsoft. We have all these programs that ordinarily charge our credit card monthly, that we're in arrears on all these things, and some of them have to do with payroll stuff. Luckily, Shelby was able to convert one to electronic.
Yeah.
We need a credit card with enough room to cover these things.
When you say cover, how much are you thinking?
Well, like when I work is 45 a month. HeadRush is 137.85 a month. Canva is 119. We have 2 grants that I can't fulfill because I need to order some stuff. One of them is almost $4,000. The other one is $3,500. So you're talking about really limiting the cardholders' credit limit.
So the board, I don't think knows anything about it, so let me talk
Okay, it's
about,
gonna be tough if you limit it, or if you only have 2 cards. It isn't gonna work.
so, and, yeah, and let me go over what SDAO said. I gotta find it, hold on.
What's the 4,000 for? For your.
The safety grant. The other one is to redo the pool deck. And that's stuff we have to order online. It isn't stuff that we can call up a company and say, send me an invoice, I'll send you a check, then you can send the stuff, they don't work that way. You're ordering this stuff online. You can't, it just doesn't work that way. You gotta have credit cards that have limits that have enough room on them that we can conduct our business.
I'm okay with the DM conducting business in larger sums, that's not the question.
Yeah,
I'm talking about individual employees.
but yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
Way
but-
too high.
Let's decide whose part all these ordinary, regular payments, like to Adobe and Microsoft and all these, whose part is that gonna be on? Is it gonna be on the DMs? So, we'll figure out how much that reduces the credit limit for the DM. And then how much room the DM has to order each month. Because the DM is going to be ordering things like to fulfill grants. So it could be, $5,000 isn't,
I mean, it could be significant.
it could be
Found
more
it.
than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
well,
found it. This is what it says. It says credit card use. I called Spencer Rockwell. And brought up my concern over the credit card use and limits established for the district manager and managers. I have come to the following conclusions and need these limits adhered to immediately. The district manager will have a maximum spending limit of $2,500 on their credit card. Any other managers shall have a $1,000 spending limit. I suggest you have a total of 2 cards, one for the district manager and one other card to be checked out. That's
That isn't.
that since has been, Spencer said it's probably fine to have the managers have a credit card, but they should only have $1,000 spending limits. He said the district manager should have all the large spending purchases, and those cannot get assigned to other managers, by the way. And then make sure this is not the same overall spending limit we have in place for the DM. These limits are specific to credit card use and should be adhered to on the new cards. So Spencer said that specifically, not even at a state level, do they have a $30,000 spending limit on a credit card. He
Don't
said
need
that's absolutely ridiculous. He
Yes.
said not even his boss has that kind of a limit. So the fact that we had somebody using that for that kind of a purchase was not good at all for the district. The fact that we had $5,000 limits on our managers was not acceptable to the SDAO either. They said $1,000 limits is typical, that's normal. If you're gonna spend any kind of big expenditures, it should be paid by the district manager. And you can do individual increases if you needed to for a case by case basis. But he said you're putting the district at risk by having over $1,000 on your credit cards that are going out to these managers.
Question. So, like when the rec center went and bought the treadmills,
That was bad. That was.
so it should have been the district manager.
Should have let it-
Or it should have been a check. That
It
should
should
have
have
been.
invoice.
Yeah, it's easier to. For audit, like for,
That spending limit was never given to we've never, as a board, authorized one of our managers to spend that kind of a limit. Our DM only had that spending limit to spend that kind of money. It was not assignable to another manager. So, but back on the credit card thing, we have limits, and don't get that confused, okay? So we have limits for our DM where I think, what are we at? 25, 30?
I
30.
think it's been 10 in the past. If it was ever over 10, you guys always wanted it brought to the board to be approved.
Thought we increased hers when we hired the last one.
No, it was 10, because it goes in line with like the capital projects. and-
That's
Yeah,
right, George.
that's too much.
I could have swore we increased that limit, because of playground equipment and all that, but no? Okay,
Yeah, I don't remember that happening. I just remember that anything over 10,000 was a bid situation.
that's all I remember too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess let's not confuse the fact that we have a limit on our district manager for what they can spend without having board approval. Okay, so Shelby's saying that's 10.
Okay.
But what what I'm talking about and what Spencer's talking about is the fact that we have right now, like what we just came out of, was our DM had like what, this huge limit on a credit card.
But the
And-
overall account didn't have a limit.
Oh, okay, that's even worse. And then our individual managers had a $5,000 limit each
Okay.
on their credit cards.
Yeah.
And Spencer's saying that's absolutely ridiculous, that if any large purchases need made, it should be made by the DM, which I agree with.
Yeah.
And then we can, I agree with Lynn, if Lynn or the DM in general needs to make a large purchase under 10, I could see where that DM having a $5,000 limit would be just fine. That's what we entrust that person with. But our regular managers running around with $5,000 limits is not acceptable in my opinion. So I guess I'm putting it out there. We'd be going against what our council is advising us if we go otherwise. So I want your guys' opinion, because Lynn's trying to get credit cards set up, and that's what this resolution's for. So, she
Let me
needs them right
say
away, too.
this, now the credit limit will be from the bank.
Spending limit and
Yes,
and
so you cannot raise it as a board.
correct. So I think this resolution might be a little off because it says credit limit authorized. So
Well, it's for the
Should be
overall.
spending
Well,
limit.
Whatever, I
It
don't,
needs to be
I haven't,
spending limit authorized.
well, I don't know how much
Right,
they even say that we're approved for, like that hasn't even been
Right.
told.
Right.
They'll go with anything, I'm sure,
So,
but we need these credit cards.
no, I
need
know,
one.
I know the credit cards, but
What I would say is obviously the DM needs to have, like, the limit needs to be bigger in case we have to incur some things over, but having the spending limit from our piece to have that conversation if you're gonna go over $10,000 on a product. Is that what we're talking about? I want clarification what you're saying, because,
uh, Lynn is wanting to get credit cards.
yep, get that.
She needs to be able to issue credit cards to our managers, and we need to be able to set limits on how much those managers can go out and spend on each of their credit cards.
per month.
Well, I guess I can go from only my reference in my job. There's 3 credit cards at the school. I have a credit card because I'm the principal of the school, so I run the school. And even my secretary has to check out a credit card to use that credit card. And there's a limit within that. So I don't think that's absurd to have a checkout process, because it should go, well, this is gonna go over this amount and we have to, so.
That way you
Does a
don't.
credit card have your name on it?
It's RHS principal, so I have to sign for it, yeah, at the bank.
So if your secretary checks it out and,
I have one that's just mine, and then the 2 other ones, there's an ASB card and athletic card, they come out of the same bank account, but that's what they're named. That they can use it that way, because they're signed, there are authorized signers on the card.
okay,
That's
That way
that's
you
not
know
me,
who
that's a
checked it
school
out,
thing, like,
yeah.
I don't know how,
Well,
if that's just,
Wanna
I don't know if that's the same,
so-
thing. I'm just using it as an example.
So,
And it helps track where that's going.
And who took
here would
it?
be my concern. Is if we're sending employees to trainings, if we're only having, say, myself with $1,000 limit, and I'm in charge of setting up their reservations and all of that. There's a possibility that I would have to turn over to the DM to do all of that if my card is only at $1,000.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, it
So
does.
that-
I know
that's
we have to
where-
pay I know like if our credit limit is getting up there, because even from the school, we have so many different clubs that have to go somewhere do that. Is that sometimes we have to make 3 payments in a month
Mhm.
to make that happen for the bank. It's
It's a lot,
inconvenient,
yeah.
but what's nice about it is it helps us with our auditing purposes. We're not already putting it in there, so. I hear what you're saying, and I don't know if 1,000 in that situation, especially for training, makes sense, but. It could, I don't know, that doesn't 100% make sense for that, but in terms of like, there's a price of it, like, so people that check out the credit card, they have to fill out a purchase order first. And say what they're buying, and it has to be approved before they get the credit
Right.
card, they don't get the credit card unless
Right.
it's approved, and the person that finally approves it is me. So the
Correct.
same as the DM would have to approve this, the same concept as. If,
And that's kind of what I'm wanting to go
What do you wanna
towards, so
do?
that people can't just go use it whenever
Right.
they want and say, yeah, I needed this. Instead, they need to be asking, and that's what the whole point of our DM is to manage those people. And to manage what's being spent.
Right.
So I'm asking then. Why is it so bad that we have one that's gonna be checked out? Like, we can have. Two, why does? I mean, everything that the maintenance manager is doing is being charged somewhere, and if they wanna check one out because it has to be bought in Hermiston, they can do that. So why is
Most
it bad to have it
everything-
checked?
Most everything that the maintenance manager would buy is a charge account.
Right.
Just unless it's something that's online.
Well. Sometimes they'll take a pickup in and have an oil change.
Mhm.
And I would think anything they buy in town would be at places we have accounts mainly, unless
So they can check that card out.
yeah,
So I guess I'm just trying to eliminate the people just doing what they want and charging what they want
Right.
because they say they need it, and get to the fact that the DM is really supposed to be signing off, just like he has to sign off that darn credit card use.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get towards, and that's what Spencer is advising us to do. So
let me ask Tico, who purchases your office supplies?
Usually she had it set up so that it was, and we did it on Amazon. And then it had to be approved, like even if like, if they have access, like Hannah would have access to the business account. And then it would have to be approved.
It was either approved by myself or by Takeo, and Rebecca had approval as well, but she never used it.
So Amazon will send an invoice.
We can pay by invoice, but it does an automatic draft out of our account,
Okay,
so.
So you can buy
Automatic.
whatever you want.
automatic draft is Shelby, one person.
So here's the deal, if you had two credit cards, right?
Mhm.
One that needs to be checked out with a $2,500 limit. And the other one that belongs to the DM with a $5,000 limit. Then is that okay? Does that work for you guys? Knowing that when it's checked out,
I
that
probably
somebody has to know
will
what it's
go
for.
over 5,000
Yeah.
because of the ordinary monthly stuff that gets charged against it.
You would charge over 5,000 in a month to a credit?
Well, if
card?
I'm buying $4,000 worth of stuff for that safety grant and it's all online,
Mhm.
when you add up all the other regular monthly ones that will come out of that card, no, 5,000 isn't enough. I think it ought to be,
And we've switched everything over that we can to either automatic
think-
draft or, I mean, these ones that are left, they will only take a card.
yeah,
Okay, so if we did what, 10,000, 7,500?
7,500, I
It should be
think would be
fine.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with Lynn or the DM having a $7,500 limit.
Yeah.
That would be fine too. I'm just trying to limit the fact that we don't need our employees driving around and going home with credit cards that belong to the district. So if
Or
we
other
can
people.
have two cards and the other one gets checked out, but you're gonna have to check with the bank on whose name it's even on it. You know what I mean?
And they will require a name on it.
Yeah. But John, you said that the school district's extra credit cards have whose name on it?
Well, like mine has RHS principal, and then the other two are like RHS ASB, RHS athletic, they come out of, they're all the same. Like, account,
What bank, you know?
Bank of Eastern Oregon, I think.
Yeah,
Bank of Eastern,
Banner is real,
Bank of Eastern
Tricky.
Oregon, it's Bank of Eastern Oregon, we switched from Banner
Banner
to Bank of
makes-
Eastern Oregon like 6 or 7 years ago.
Say Banner makes you put an employee name on it
yeah.
versus,
Bank of
That's
Eastern,
fine.
because if
We don't have an account there.
we have the loan
and that's
for,
Yeah, but that doesn't qualify. They make you have an account.
well, can we check with?
We need this.
So what does,
No, I know.
what
I
does the
know.
card have to say on it? What name does it?
Yeah, what can it, I mean.
This is really weird to me that they're
the-
saying you have to have a name on it.
Why
It's like,
can't it just
because
say
it's a
Boardman Parks and
business.
I
Rec?
know, that's the way they are. I
But
mean,
mine-
you wouldn't
mine's
believe
like
the
that. It
hoops
says
we
Nick
had to
London
jump
and then
through.
Krista Price on it.
Yeah. Even the cities are like that.
Well, then I mean, that's fine, but if they have. That's weird.
Put $1,000 and give a card to the managers. And have them come check it out from the DM when they need it.
Oh, okay, like.
I would recommend this. I would recommend we have 3 cards. One for the DM with the 7,500. You have one for managers to check out for 2,500. And then if you're sending people to training, I would have another card with just $1,000 on it. Because you don't want a
Problem is,
chance of someone going,
Banner Bank requires a name on it.
That's the issue. So why,
then
Well,
we
we
go
just-
to a different bank to get that.
Yeah, we don't have any
'Cause
accounts.
there's other
there.
banks that don't require. it.
They.
Well,
BEO
Tell Banner we're going
requires-
to switch it.
so I agree with your idea, give the managers a card, but they have to check it out
Yeah, let them
in
check it out
order
with the
to use
DM.
it.
Issue a card to each of the managers. Shelby needs one that's got more. And the other 3 managers, $1,000, and have them come check it out from the DM. That way you're limiting it.
And it has their name.
Yes, and it has their name so they can use it.
Shelby, what are your thoughts?
I actually agree with Lynn. I'm a little, the checking out thing for down here, it's fine. But because you've got that rec center clear over there, if they need something, they're gonna have to come down here every time they need to buy
You're
something.
getting
else.
approval to spend money anyway.
They are,
So
yes,
why does that matter?
because it's a trust thing. You should trust your managers that if they need
Well,
something,
according to Spencer, we're not supposed to be trusting anybody with over $1,000.
Well,
So-
what's, I issue them to the other managers for $1,000, but give the DM 7,500 and give Shelby, I don't know, something like 1,000.
What do you
Cut
need to
it for
spend money
you.
on?
most of my stuff that I spend it on would be either supplies or if people not going to trainings. I mean, the hotel for just George and I was $800.
Hotel's expensive.
And then the train, plus the cost of the training.
So you're saying that we didn't hire a DM that's supposed to take care of that? That falls on our park secretary
Yeah,
to make travel plans?
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was doing all of it.
Is that what the board intended?
No,
I thought Shelby was supposed to be our secretary in HR. So,
I thought she was finance.
yeah, I guess that's my issue.
Well,
Why are you in charge of that anyway? George, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know I go through a secretary to make my arrangements for travel. For the police department, I don't go to chief to make my travel arrangement. One of the other administrators
Regardless of
take
what
care of
you
it.
do at work, what was your intent for our DM?
I just expected the secretary was taking care of all our arrangements for travel. I mean, I don't remember that being part of anything for the DM to take care of our travel arrangement.
I don't remember.
I mean, I know even in the schools, you go through the
Oh,
secretary. Yeah, I don't remember anything being said about
You have a
DM.
DM, but you can assign someone to call the hotel and do all those
Right.
things. It doesn't have to be the
Correct.
DM to do that. So if that's
Right.
what the assigned was to do, it makes sense.
Yeah.
If she was asked to do that. So,
It would be. Spencer's just saying that, at that point, then the DM would say, here you go, here's my credit card, go charge it.
that could be another way to look at it.
Well,
his point.
some places won't accept a credit card without validating that the same person who's before them has the authority to, use a credit card if it's not in their name.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been turned down. If I've had a credit card in someone else's name and I tried to charge something and I've had it refused
I
because
use
I
Jared's
wasn't
all the
that person.
time.
Well, I'd say the one thing, would the difference be, and I don't know this, Lynn, but is it difference because we're a business, like, even though we're a business, like, it's gonna be like, if the title would be anyways, would say, Boardman Park and Rec, and then your name.
Yep.
And then it's a business card, it's not a personal card,
Right, yeah.
and so it's gonna say business card, right? Yeah, I don't know if there's a difference, and I'm wondering if that's why it's okay with the cards that I have, because it's a business card, not a,
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know, I don't.
and I've given mine as well to other employees to use, and I've never had any trouble with them using it.
My 2 cents on this. Cause I'm old enough that when I first started teaching. We got to be a little bit more rogue on this. And now it's really difficult to do what you do. So when it forces you to be actually organized and plan ahead. Used to be, I'd call a guy and have something shipped, do the PO words and it all. Now, I gotta know, on June 1st, I need to order this. And I need to get things going in the process that is laid out for us. I can't just shoot by the seat of my pants.
You're like, oh yeah, I need to get that. Can't do that.
You have to be way more organized. And it's just. not
That's
a
why you're a
bad thing.
manager.
So the packet here,
So what do we need, what are we trying to?
the
Yeah,
resolution,
we're,
so Lynn's wanting to get those credit cards going. In my opinion, I'm not. So somebody would have to, I'm not going for all of our managers to have credit cards, so without them being checked out.
Well, they could be checked out. Just have them in their name. And they can check them out.
Okay, the resolution wouldn't be correct then, so what?
We could add to it. Well, the board grants the authority to the DM to remove, delete, or suspend any designated cardholder's privileges without further board action. Remove, you know,
Mhm.
the DM could remove them and have them in a,
So if we do approve this, can we approve it then with our limits we want, but then we can state, like, can we state that the DM has approval to hold those cards? Or does that have to be written in this resolution?
That would be more of a procedural.
yeah,
That's
type
what I'm
thing.
asking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
more of a procedural versus,
you could just tell us that
Mhm.
that's the way you want them handled. And they would be handled that way.
The other question is you guys have down credit limits authorized, which is fine. I get that. We all are under the understanding that that's your spending limit, right?
yes.
But is this, I would assume this is on a per month basis or per occurrence basis?
It'd be a per month. Well, no, it'd
I think it'd
be
be
the
per
whole,
occurrence,
per,
right?
occurrence. It'd be
The
per
limit,
card, no
yeah.
matter what it ever, yeah. If it doesn't get paid off at the end of the month, you still only have that small portion, but it would get paid off.
Yeah, and if we have
Is
to make
that
a
right?
bigger purchase, like if the person has to make a bigger purchase, might have to pay more than one payment.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
the limit-
we'd have to,
Especially
like
for,
if I
especially
wanted
if
to
we have
buy,
to resurface or resurfacing the portion
The
of the pool, the
Mhm.
deck, that's gonna cost a decent amount of money already. And then if there's something else in that same month that needs to get bought with a credit card,
we'd have
it's
to
gonna
pay
go
it
over the
off.
limit.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have to do that.
yeah, I'd have to,
So it's the limit that what we need to talk about is the spending limit before she needs to talk to us about that piece. And that's what I'm understanding with this. We have a credit card limit and we're gonna be dictated on the credit card limit of the bank. The bank's
Right.
gonna say,
Mhm.
your credit limit is,
This amount. and this is
40,000.
how
I
you
don't-
can divvy
I don't know
it.
what it is, whatever.
We don't know what it is.
What I'm asking is does this have to be modified or are you guys asking us to put,
Numbers right now.
You have to put in the numbers.
right, but the word credit? Because I agree with John that we're not asking for, I mean, the bank's.
Talking
gonna
about
put-
spending limit.
Yeah, it really should say spending limit authorized.
Yeah.
Right?
Spending.
We can change it.
I think it's what we need to do. The credit limit's gonna be determined upon what credits. what we
Right,
have from
that's
the
what I was
cards.
thinking. It should say spending limit authorized. Or authorized. spending
what did
limit.
it say on that form, you know? Shelby?
This,
Yeah, I think we need to say credit limit authorized, because that's what they have on their form.
Can we say credit spending limit? Can we say both words?
Well, okay, so let me ask this question. If the credit, we're talking about the credit limit, it's talking about what the bank is saying.
Yes,
Okay, so, but
That's
here,
too much.
okay. If we say each district manager can spend $1,000 and we each get a credit card that's $1,000, but yet those credit cards stay within the district manager, right? They may only spend $1,000 even though the credit limit, the bank says it's $10,000. So right now, I know that they need us to put something down, but I don't understand how that makes sense for us to put something down. If,
well. 'cause
listen,
what
listen,
you-
let me finish. The bank's gonna dictate how much that is,
Mhm.
not us.
Well, the bank's gonna limit each of those cards to that limit.
Yes, yes,
Right,
yes, and then whatever it's limited to, that's what our limit is going to be unless we ask for an increase. So
I get
whatever you
it.
guys put here is what our limit for the whole account
Cause it's going.
is going to be,
gotcha,
for
right,
the overall.
right,
Yeah.
which is Spencer's point.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So credit limit,
Then-
that's what
Yeah.
we're
Then we have to do it
authorizing.
this way.
yes,
With then the expectation
I
of,
get it.
if there's a spending that's over this limit, then we have to,
You
but
have
it
to
makes
pay.
sense that GM's gonna have to like have more than $10,000. That's not enough. Not,
well, you could pay it down though, right? Isn't this where we're coming back to the fact that you can?
As
pay it
long as
down?
we have access to be able
Yeah.
to get on there, because I knew they do have online access where you can look and you can
Right.
see what your limits are
Right.
at before your statement.
Right.
And that's just making sure that we have that access so that we can go, okay, this is
Correct.
where we're at, we need to make that payment.
Correct,
We know it takes 3 or 4 days to hit,
Correct.
so.
okay. All right, so do you want to do a 2,000 for Shelby, 2,500 for Shelby?
yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
All right, so we're gonna put Shelby Piercy at Secretary HR
Isn't she
at
fine?
2,500.
yeah.
I'm all 3.
That's wrong.
Okay. We're gonna do Lynn Craig
At 3, you said?
at DM,
You had 3?
and what are we doing with Lynn, 75, Lynn?
Yeah,
Okay,
What was Shelby that?
25.
okay. And then, Takeo. Right?
Yep.
At 1,000. And then, I mean, do we need the 2 people down here to have them?
They've had them in the past. Mostly what's been bought though has been things that we could charge on our charge accounts. I mean, it was for decorations in the booth. I don't know if we necessarily need that,
Well, they went to Walmart.
which they bought decorations in the booth for.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I feel
they
like,
gotta check it out anyway.
Purpose of,
Put 1,000 on it.
and whose name?
Sean,
Holbrook. HOLBROOK.
Thank you. Campground manager, correct? At 1,000.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough.
and then we have one more.
Bradley
Maintenance.
White. He's the maintenance manager.
Bradley White,
Bradley White.
oh my gosh.
WH or WIGHT?
WH, just like the color.
Oh, okay. He's
Yeah,
maintenance
ma-
manager?
Yep.
Is this person accepted already? Is he employed by the district yet?
He will be on April 3rd. But if we don't put it on here, then we have to redo the resolution.
All right,
And that's 1,000?
And I'm gonna have the card anyway.
okay.
Okay. Is he in
Hmm?
it? Is he in it?
Okay,
Alright, so I've seen that we have a total limit of 13,000,
I see that too.
so that gives us some leeway
Yeah.
in case there's something that you have to get at 12,000 even though. Right, is that what I'm,
Okay. So, I need somebody to make a motion to pass resolution 2023-001 with the names, positions and spending limits that we just went over.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2023-001 with
the spending limits that we,
spending limits that we just went over.
Okay. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Sorry.
Aye.
Who's that?
All opposed? Did
He's
George say
Yeah,
yay?
he did.
Yeah, he raised his hand.
All right.
Yes,
And then, okay, as a notation to that, then I'm putting it in the records and make sure it's on the reflected in the minutes that that I'm recommending that the DM hold on to those and then be checked out for use.
Shelby, can you fill one of these out so we can,
Yeah,
they can sign it?
I'll need to print a clean one because I crossed out credit limit for spending on mine.
And then, whatever.
We
Okay,
need to do
well,
that before tonight, no?
she has it. She'll get it to us. So, I mean, she'll print it before we go.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate the discussion on it. Spencer will be happy. Because I guarantee you, we have a freaking claim on that. And he's gonna be like, I told you guys so. So let's not get to that point. But got rid of that. Where's my agenda? I have it here somewhere. There it is.
That's one of the bank signers.
No, sorry, it's down here.
I lost mine too.
Thanks, Senator.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're on that one. Oh,
Page
Bay
fif-
Center, that is the one we're on.
Okay.
Okay. So I didn't see anything wrong with this, so I'll take a motion to approve this unless anybody has any discussion on it.
What your name's on?
What?
Is it your name's on?
Anybody?
Yeah, my name's. Oh.
Oh,
is.
yeah, it is, sorry.
It's hard.
So we'll have her fix that as
Yeah, I'll
well, but
fix
let's go
that.
ahead and approve it if we can. I just need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the resolution of 2023 with the -002 with the correctional change.
Well, second.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right,
Thank you, David.
Aye.
None opposing. That passes that resolution 2023-003.
Okay.
Shelby,
This was the CREZ funds. So this year we got, it was a total of about 106,000, but the way they split it up, shows on pages 54 through 57. And this year they actually laid out that $79,343.55 was to go towards the bond. Lynn has been talking with Karen and they're remembering that there's something that states that we may not have to use that towards the GL bond.
Karen asked if we could delay passing this resolution until next meeting,
You just figured it out.
if we need it then, because she's talking with David Olbert,
Mhm.
who issued the bonds
Mhm.
when we did the GO bond.
Mhm.
And she thinks he'll verify that we do not have to spend the 79 on a GO bond, that we could actually use it to pay down the Bank of Eastern Oregon loan instead, which means that we would have 79,000 more in our budget, cash in our budget to spend. So if we could wait until next month on this one.
So it wasn't the enterprise zone's choice to have it to go towards?
Aaron thinks that he can't require it to go to that. The way the CREZ was set up.
I remember talking to Karen about this at one time, and that sounds like,
Sounds about right.
it sounds similar, and it's worth us waiting to check.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see,
So
it's not
Shelby,
gonna hurt us to check.
can you table resolution 2023-003 pending,
More information.
yeah, from Karen on whether or not the funds are required to be applied to the GO bond? And just make sure that gets on the next one, because I won't remember it otherwise, so table to March. And you'll remember that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
You remember it great.
We're working on this. to try
Okay.
to-
Great, then what did I just? Yeah, okay, got it. District manager report. Lynn Craig, you were on.
Little update on our former maintenance manager left yesterday, left the house in a mess. I've got a bid coming to repaint. Supposedly he paid to have Oso Clean come tomorrow to clean the carpet. I don't know if the carpet can be saved.
Okay,
Why is that? Animals or?
Animals. The, one of the other maintenance people would stay there while they were gone because of cockroaches. It's really bad. But we are handling it.
okay,
The new maintenance manager and family are coming, is it the 9th, Shelby?
They're gonna be in town March 9th, and they were hoping to check out the house March 10th.
Okay, so we're scurrying,
So,
For a week.
yeah,
yeah,
we'll get it done.
so I would imagine that residence is probably due for a flooring change anyway, is it
No,
not?
it's only
it
5
not?
years old. It's
It is?
the
beautiful
carpet, the
carpet.
carpet is only 5 years old. The linoleum is original.
Oh, okay,
The carpets
Okay,
A mess.
well, we're gonna leave that in the hands. So is
Same.
our maintenance person going to be occupying that home?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Anyway,
He's
we'll
not
handle
being-
it.
so do you guys have the occupancy agreement that we had previously?
Yeah,
I need to
there
send
was
that to you.
no repercussions.
The person is not starting until
Oh,
April
man,
3rd, so
I
we have a
know,
little
that's
bit of time. They're just wanting to come and check it out before.
So it's not for sure they're gonna occupy?
They are for sure going to occupy that, but they wanted to check it out before they came and.
This person just spent 22+ years at the same job, same place.
So my question is, I do need to get you the occupancy agreement that was drafted by our attorney.
I hope
Yes,
it's
but she
better.
wants to add some things to
The
it. and talk to you
repercussions
about it.
because of what was left.
So what I'll do then is get you the occupancy agreement in Word format, and I'll get you Shada's email, and you can deal directly with her
Okay,
on whether or not you want to have something drafted. So basically, you're wanting repercussions so that things can be pulled out of wages then, provided that things aren't turned right, because
Something,
otherwise
or make
it's a
them
civil
pay.
suit between us and.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
I gotta believe that something in that occupancy should say no animals allowed inside.
There was an
thought we
agreement for a
did
certain
that.
amount of animals, yeah. There was.
I thought we did.
But
say that.
they didn't, there was no repercussions and they brought in more animals.
Right, and I think that unfortunately that just may be, and we'll ask Shada, but that might be one of the downfalls of a landlord slash tenant lease type of a issue
Right,
that all
yeah.
landlords deal with. So,
Yep.
you know, we may just have
That's
that
some-
problem, although we were not in that kind of a tenant landlord.
With Ted.
Yeah, we were not bound by those, so, okay, so let me just put it over here, I'm gonna email in the park residence occupancy,
But it sounds like we might need to check how much the quote for like new carpet and compare it out if it's not gonna be salvageable.
I think
It's-
it's gross.
Well-
Stinks.
Ocean Clean will tell us if they
Oh,
can
yeah.
get the odor out or not. If there's cat odor, you can't get it out. We'll have to remove the carpet. It's beautiful carpet. I hate to rip it out,
Yeah, but
but we'll
this is the
see.
time to do it if there's no.
Oh, yeah.
There's
I mean, you can't move somebody in when it smells like
like a shame.
cat
That's
urine.
like, that's like a year, right? How long was that?
Not even
9 months.
Not
That's crazy.
okay. Lynn, go ahead, I'm gonna let you,
That's basically all I
Okay.
have. Things are
Hey, do-
ongoing.
okay,
Okay,
great,
now we see
and
it.
thank you for stepping in for us. Shelby, when we posted the district manager position, did you ever did you see where they showed the close dates? for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and I
So
added
we-
it.
Perfect, okay. Okay, right on that. Lynn, do you know, well, I have you and we're on your topics here. What is up with the fish contractual agreement for the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission?
It's ongoing.
Okay, does this,
Nothing.
are you working on this though with them? It's like a new agreement that they needed signed. I'm
It's
assuming.
already been signed, everything's
Okay.
fine, same as it was before,
Okay,
nothing's
that's my
changed.
question.
Yes,
So we saw it came through and I just want to know if it was the
yep,
same.
everything's
Yeah,
good.
it's the same.
Okay, all the same, and then Lynn executed it, correct?
Yep,
Okay, got it. And then. That is from last time, that's from, oh, thank God. All right, David, I need you to review those pretty please without showing anybody. Great, and then what's next? Lynn, we have her down, maintenance recreation reports, Lynn, what's on this maintenance report? Anything we need to worry about? No, okay. Have we done any of the improvements to be able to finish out the grants, that kind of thing?
yes, I'm
Lynn's
working
been,
on
Lynn's been working on them.
Okay,
You want me to sign that?
yeah, if you don't mind, just read through it and approve them, I have to seal them up in those envelopes. Okay, so everything's just moving
Everything's fine.
along, you have everything under control.
Yep.
You have people starting new jobs, thank God. Okay,
I may bring in one more maintenance person. Uh,
What's gonna happen with that therapy pool issue? That's on
nothing,
here.
nothing till our new man starts.
Okay,
He's the expert on pools.
okay. All right, but he will work with the leak people, American
Yes.
Leak Detection people.
Yes,
Okay, and have we done anything to help make our, any kind of our, remember the annual safety review we had? Have we, I guess we didn't have a maintenance person yet, so we will be getting on the maintenance stuff. Any kind of safety things that needed to be cleared?
All the
Yes.
risk management stuff.
Yeah, risk management, thank you.
yes.
Right,
Yeah, Lynn's been working on that and she's been getting on one of our maintenance guys to
okay,
get.
all right, great. Okay, does the board have any questions on that? No, Brad, all right. Recreation facility reports. Anybody have any questions on that?
And pretty straightforward.
I thought so too.
Only question I have on the rec center, and I don't know where we're at,
That's all.
what, the door. By the weight room, goes near the gym,
All of the doors are broken, and all of them, they were not good doors to be put on at the beginning, so we had, Superior Glass came in and they showed James how to make a flat plate. Every single one of them have to be replaced. They're just literally falling off the hinges.
like, I just been
But
gone
there-
forever, and I'm
There's
just,
there's $4,000 per door if we have them do it, for compared to like less than $100 if we do it ourselves. So,
I just. Curious what
Yeah.
was going on.
Did we at least break even with the donations and the ticket sales on our VIP and me dance?
No,
No, it was a loss.
Or how much?
That I'm not quite sure. I can answer that when I get the financials.
Okay. Okay. Other business, cost item analysis, David Gore.
Okay, goes along with that, when we do these things. We need to have a cost item analysis done. Now, I know we're gonna lose money, like on the Halloween thing, I've been asking for numbers for almost 4 months now. And the goal should be next year not lose that much money. And I know it takes 4 or 5 years to get things rocking and rolling in the area, but we're not in a position to be spending, and I have no idea what we're spending. But I know that we spend a lot of money, not just on materials, but labor for the Halloween thing. And it is not good business to just spend money and not have any idea what we're spending and not have a number to look, if we're losing $15,000 on that, we need to find some major corporate sponsors. But I think we need to do those kind of analysis for our classes that we're teaching. If we're paying somebody $400 a month to teach a class and 6 people are showing up, that's bad business. And again, you gotta do it for a while to see if you can get some interest in it. But if we're not looking at these things that way, how do we know we're making good financial choices? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's what we need. I mean, that's just so father-daughter dance. We need to, whatever you wanna call it. We need to know what we're spending on it, what we're bringing in. And every year we should be trying to make it more to the zero balance or maybe even turning a profit. But if we don't have numbers, how do we know we're making progress? Or that we have a need? Maybe we made money on it. I don't know. Does that make sense? So that's just my 2 cents on that. Anybody else?
Anybody else have any comments on that?
On that dance, yeah, they had a musical chairs thing. I think maybe doing like age group, because Emery was playing with like older kids and losing to everybody because she was smaller. So I know there was other kids that were small, but having like an age group, maybe. And having maybe like an agenda of, hey, this starts at this time. Cause I know the kids were like at one section and they did face painting and they waited in line, but then something else started, so they had to leave that line and go do something else. So maybe if it was a little bit more organized on that.
Well, I would think any type of event. I mean, when I run a school, junior high leadership, I sit down the following Monday and say, okay, what went well, what didn't go well, put up some ideas, and I put that on paper, so I have it for the next time I do that again.
Yeah.
And that's how you get better, because I mean, if you don't put it on paper, you don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 months from now, when you get ready to plan your next event.
what happened was-
Yeah,
Yeah, I just agree in the cost analysis. I think we should just continue like looking at things that are making money or, you know, where we want it to be if we think it's gonna take 2 years or 3 years and we gotta just evaluate it as we go. And if something that we try, and it's okay to try stuff that doesn't work, because we don't know if it's not gonna work unless you try it. So to see, and then,
Right.
you know, but then also be conscious, especially for like our bills are big piling up on, you know, the pools are pretty expensive, so.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. All right, class fees for member and non-members, David?
if I wanna take a cooking class. But I'll just make it easy. I wanna take Hans's hand fighting class, and I'm a member of rec center, do I pay the same amount as a non-member?
You don't have.
It's included in the membership now.
Where it's an ongoing fitness, he's not going as he's gearing it towards men. And so the youth one is a program, it's a 6-week session and they will graduate to different belts, but we were trying to offer something to catered more towards we get that complaint constantly, there's nothing for them to do, so it is free.
And so the class, I guess, that would question is the basketball classes.
Those are clinics put on by Prelude, so we're like the host and we take a split of. We're just the host, we don't do anything with them, they have,
Do they provide insurance then?
I don't know.
Insurance, like what kind of insurance?
Well, they're getting all the money and we're paying all the bills.
No.
Well, they're not
split.
getting all the money, because they don't, like, it doesn't cost us anything to have them there.
We're
they're- but they're
cutting a
taking the whole
portion of
entry fee?
proceeds.
No,
No, we're doing it, it's a 80-20, which we.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a,
she
we
said
are
they
taking
split
the- yeah, and there's different things too, if it, depending on how many kids they have, then the split changes, and we've dealt with our fitness, I'm redoing all the fitness contracts as well, so that they're the same way, so if you have 5 or less, then they get paid half of how much they're getting for the instructor fee.
I would just say we need to make people make people aware of the membership benefits, because there's several people have talked to me about, well, why would I want to be a member if I gotta pay full fee for everything? I had no idea I've never taken a class, so.
We started
Okay.
that one as a class that you had to pay and didn't run a session, and it was not a hit like we did. It was like, the youth one has always done well and it continues. He's got like 15+ kids in there right now.
That's fine.
But the adult one, we had like one person go and then one person show, and then as soon as we did it free, it's up to like 10 people. It's like up to, and there are people that are new that got memberships. I mean, there's a couple that have been.
Sounds good.
Anything else on that, David? Anybody else? On that
how's the
topic?
volleyball on that topic? Oh, not on that topic.
I'm sorry.
How's volleyball tournament this weekend?
It's going, it's kind of an interesting situation. We had the family come to us, and ask us if we would host this and put this on, because it's that benefit.
Mhm.
And then they have done nothing. Like, we've contacted, they wanted to have vendors, they wanted to have all this. So now our staff is going out trying to get baskets and get things for the raffle, because that we've reached out to them numerous times, and get a GoFundMe started. We will not do it. That was the family's responsibility. They wanted to do it to a cash app, to the kids' cash app. We said, no, absolutely not. But so he's got like, I think there's 12 teams now that are signed up, which is great, but it's definitely not as great as it should have been.
I mean, I don't think you guys give out baskets for winners or what?
They were doing them for the winners. They were doing both.
Well, it was
Their
supposed to be a
original plan was
raffle,
supposed to
right?
be a raffle, and the family was doing and taking care of and doing all the
And that was
things.
that one last time, right?
And so, yeah.
Okay, rec center fitness equipment, David?
Somebody called me concerned that our equipment in the weight room isn't getting fit. I was like, well, we just got for the treadmill. And I walk every morning when I walk in there, kind of survey everything. And they were told that the company that we have contracted with to maintain our equipment is not available.
They haven't shown up nor done anything, returned cards for 6 months. I quit them. And as soon as we bought the treadmills, we went ahead and we signed a maintenance contract with them. Josh was there from Advanced Fitness Solutions on last week, and he fixed I put it on my report. He fixed 3 pieces that were broken, and he ordered parts for the other 2.
So have we already paid that other contract off?
Yeah, it was a
I
like
just-
a stop at any time, so I just stopped because we were getting, and they weren't holding up their end of the agreement anyway.
Good.
They were supposed to,
And that bothers me.
Yes,
If
they-
you sign a contract with us and you're not old.
yeah,
I
and they haven't.
I know what I do in my real life, there would be a lawyer
Oh,
contact.
there
just
should be, to
because
be quite honest, because
because
yeah, in the
I paid you
contract,
money to do something and you didn't do it.
they were supposed to have everything that those people find that they come in to order me, to check out, any service that needs to be done in 48 hours, or they drop their price of labor per hour, and they've never done it ever. In their whole, everything that I've ever found.
Well, the way to turn that organization, are they out of Washington?
It's, no, I mean, it's local, I mean, yes, I guess.
They-
it's-
I guess my thing is I would contact Better Business Bureau, there needs to be a complaint filed. I don't know who falls under that, but
Page 62 and 63 refers to a apprenticeship program. Where's that on the agenda and who's in charge of talking about
It
that?
was part of
Oh, sorry.
Taco's report. So it was just showing that the program.
I-
focused on that. That was all it was.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so we're back to and honestly, you know what, you guys, you tell me what you want to do here. We are back to the vacation and management leave policy and the sick leave and holidays policies. Those are, in my opinion, the last time we went over this with Shelby, we were here a good hour discussing this darn stuff. So I need to know, because it's not something all of us want to do, but I do need to know what we're going to do on that, whether we're gonna table it, whether we are gonna have a workshop on it, whether we're gonna discuss it right now and be here till 9 o'clock. So I didn't mean that to sound disparaging, but that's a fact. So somebody put their 2 cents in on this topic.
I think this needs to be put on to a workshop.
That's kind of how I feel, and I mean, it's not like we don't have vacation time, it's not like we don't have these things, they're actually wanting to be changed, so.
Some of them are wanting to be changed. The holiday one, I actually say we keep it the same as what it is. I've talked to our employees and asked them their opinions. They don't want to switch to what was proposed. The only thing that I think does need to be done on it, it needs to be a clarification added to it as to part-time employees get 4 hours of holiday pay if the facilities are closed.
Right.
And then if it's a full-time employee, they get 8 hours. That's the only thing that's not in there. Because that, it would just make it a lot easier when
Right.
we're telling our
Right.
employees how much they get paid.
Right. So are you saying that if we have a workshop and we discuss these things and we have our minds made up by the end of the
Workshop.
by the end of the, well, even by the time that we go into our next taxing year,
Yeah,
that you'll be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm fine with it. I know it's been on the agenda. We've talked about it. I know it's a really hot topic
Mhm.
but I do think it's something we need to revisit for some of our other employees.
I agree, and especially if we're gonna start talking about the sick leave and all of that, and the way it
Yes.
accumulates, then we're
Yeah.
gonna need more time.
Yeah.
And fresher brains, so,
Well, you could approve the holidays now. Would be done with that. And that would be good for all the employees, so they would know.
you know, like a holiday.
No, the one
Oh.
that's there, don't approve that.
Oh.
What I'm saying,
Okay.
approve a statement saying that we are going, just that clarification. Keep the policy that we have in place now with the holidays that we have.
I don't even know what it is.
Or you go grab the book. It's all you.
Cause I was reading that. And I didn't mind what she had on the holidays. On the change.
What are the current
I
holidays
think the
for the
one
district
thing was that
employees?
if we are a public entity for like a place for recreation, if you're closed on a like President's Day example, that's a day people are gonna come in,
Right.
Yeah,
but not having that, I mean, obviously Christmas is different and things
Yeah.
like that, but
So currently, we
Yeah, it
have
is.
9 paid holidays. Okay,
currently.
currently we
Paid.
have 9.
page
They-
26.
I'm
They
just
are,
gonna say, just because the federal government adds these federal holidays,
Right.
does not mean we have to abide by those.
Right.
Okay.
so the ones that we currently have is New Year's Eve, Labor Day, Christmas Eve, Memorial
Wait a
Day.
minute, New Year's
Hold on.
Eve or New Year's
Hold
Day?
hold
New
on.
Year's Eve and New Year's Day, both.
And which of those two are the facilities closed?
The facilities are closed, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day,
Wow.
All of them?
yes. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then Thanksgiving.
Mm. Birthday, yeah, Thanksgiving Day.
So right now, the 4th of July is open on the facility?
Correct, so we
That's
have
only 5.
Labor Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, and then the day after Thanksgiving are paid holidays where the employees get an overtime rate if they work, but the facility is open.
Okay,
See, and I don't agree with that. I don't understand, why are we paying
It says a
holiday
work
pay
day.
time and a half for the day after Thanksgiving? That's a work day for every other person in America. Why are we?
Not for, generally not for government entities, they will trade another government holiday
Yeah, they're
for that
usually
day.
a floater. It's usually not, it's not a holiday, though. Nobody should get paid holidays. I'm not saying you shouldn't, I'm just saying, why are we
Yeah.
paying time and a half for a regular work day?
Yeah,
Basically as a thank you for working this holiday.
no, you're supposed to go to work. It's a lot of things. I almost feel like we should treat ourselves almost like a grocery store. Almost. Pretty
Correct,
close.
because of Christmas and, yeah,
Yeah,
Thanksgiving and New Year's, or you
Yeah.
wouldn't expect our employees to work on those days, correct? George?
I've already said we should table this till we have a workshop.
Okay,
okay.
all
yeah,
right.
let's do workshop.
David and John, just curious,
We just-
what are your thoughts?
I saw a workshop, my brain is not ready.
Yeah.
Well,
David,
my kid is 15 today, I'd like to see. Maybe eat cake.
Ace is open every day, but Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Mhm,
And if I want to take time off, I have vacation.
exactly.
Okay, but what about for the hourly employees that don't?
That's their. Kidding.
Yeah, good evening. Are you talking part-time? Hourly point, employees don't get vacation.
Our part, no, none of our hourly employees do.
If that's all we're gonna eat.
Wait, they don't have any. sick leave? Oh, wait,
Sick
They have
leave, But that you're,
yeah.
we need to discuss that floater thing. If people want to take floaters, they could. I mean, I agree with John that there are certain days in here where I don't think that we should even be. I mean, hopefully, well, I guess you guys don't have them on here. But why are we closed on June 19th?
we're not,
we're not.
that was
That
what
was a
she
proposal?
was proposing.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's because it's,
So
a
that's where we're
government- it's one of the new government
So
holidays.
my suggestion
Yeah.
on work, we need to take this, but then we also need to have a copy in front of us
the
of our
current.
all of the
Yeah.
current. So that way we can have the
Yeah.
comparison of the work scope,
Okay.
And
make
we
sure
did
that
get
happens.
that, right? We did get that.
Yeah,
at
we,
one
point,
point.
well, we just need, if we're gonna, that's what our premise is gonna be for that's what we need to have it.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially what's the difference, what's the change, so we can really look at it. Obvious.
I agree. So I don't want to table this too far out. What do you guys want for a workshop? What time, I guess, what day, when do you want to do it? Because otherwise we just move it from meeting to meeting and we never
I
get
almost
to
feel
it.
like next week.
Kind of like a policy.
That's right, just like our policies.
When does softball start? Not next week, right? So can we do it like next week? That way it's kind of fresh in our mind and just get it on
I'll go off whatever you guys have. You tell me.
I could do it Tuesday next week.
with.
To,
Yes or no on Tuesday, the 7th?
Thumbs
What
up.
was
or
that?
thumbs
Did you
down?
give us all?
Thumbs up, no, it's a thumbs up.
Okay, and are you guys
yep,
thinking?
I'm
5 to
good,
6?
I'm good.
5 to 6? So we can go home and spend time with our families. David, what about you on Tuesday, the 7th?
I'll make it work.
I may still be at the North County Parks meeting.
That's right,
But
but
I-
that's okay, Lynn.
I don't have.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd much rather you go to that. Okay, so workshop for sick leave and vacation, correct? Shelby, is that right?
It'd be the vacation, sick leave, holidays, and then the management leave policy that she. So it's all the leaves.
Are you available that day from 5 to 6? You are?
I say just don't make it this Friday because I won't be here.
Nope, nope, I wouldn't do it on a Friday anyway. So workshop for sick leave and holiday pay and whatever else.
5 PM?
Yeah,
I can't talk, right? I'm not supposed to.
go ahead.
It's just about, it's gonna be probably not be the video you guys want, I mean, you won't think. So I am going to disagree, and I'm just gonna throw it out there since the rec center manager. I don't like how we had so much time off for Christmas, at least the employees, we were closed Thursday through Tuesday. And I've never had so many calls at home, complaints, like.
because
it
of
was-
how the
it was
holidays
too much.
fell.
Like, I understand the management or whatever, having whatever, but the rec center has to be open more. It can't be like it was this last year, so I just wanted to let you know that we had a lot of complaints about that, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we should treat it kind of like a.
Yeah,
grocery
I
store.
agree with you. We
Open.
get those all the time. If the people have work off, they wanna go, that's the time they wanna come. I already get complaints every day. Why are we not open on Sunday? That's when but we
Yeah.
can't staff Sunday. at
Yeah.
this point.
Wasn't closed for 24-hour access, was it?
No, it was open for that.
Well, you're talking about like.
Pay you $5 a month or whatever it is.
I know, like,
They can't take their kids. That's the complaint. The complaint is they can't take their kids.
You can't do anything.
You can't take
down
down
either.
No, they have to be.
There's no, yeah,
Like
I mean, I can't take them swimming.
Okay.
Well, somebody going in there, cause I picked up 15 freaking balls in the gym this morning. I swear I'm gonna come down, look at the camera and find out who it is, have a conversation with us with him.
Okay,
Like, how can you not?
Shelby, if you
pick
don't
up
mind, can you go
pictures?
run do those 2 resolutions for us?
Yes.
Real quick, and then we'll sign off of those.
And the,
And then,
Oh, and the correction.
Yeah, I know.
all right, so does anybody else have anything else? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
I'll adjourn it.
If I
Hurry.
can- No, go ahead. I just want to clarify the credit card thing. I know it's a hot topic. Please just know that I did not go and try to spend those 20. We know that. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
We know that.
I would never do that.
No.
So that you know, that's all I wanted.
No, no, we know that.
Okay,
I am aware.
okay.
Thank
All
you.
I wanted to tell you.
And that did not originate from that. It's the other,
No, that's
it's a bunch
totally
of
fine.
things.
No, that's totally fine. And I don't,
Bunch
there's
of
nothing on
things.
a credit card. I could care less.
Yeah.
So, and whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I
I just wanted
fully,
to make sure that it wasn't fun that I did that.
No.
I could not. So.
I thought you did
nope,
it.
it was
yeah,
not.
we almost adjourned. I gotta go do presents and stuff. Okay.
Go.
Almost, yeah.
You gotta
Second.
sign
We gotta
that.
sign
Somebody
the
needs to make a motion to adjourn.
He
too.
did, I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Yeah, I.
Aye, perfect.
Just take a second. to
Aye.
sign.
Does it require all the signatures? Because he's not even here.
I'm gonna tell
No.
Adriana.
Okay, just a majority?
Yeah.
Oh, you can leave then.
Yeah.
It just needs
It's
3,
fine. It's gonna print in 2 seconds, so I'll say.
1.
So
yeah.
which child has a birthday today?
My oldest. 15.
It's my
Well,
birthday too.
Anytime.
Happy
birthday,
to you.
girl.
Well, yours on the
Well,
20th.
she's a leader, baby, but she can sit.
Oh, she's a 29?
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay, bye, Mom.
Yeah.
Good night.
Interested.
Oh, the 29th. That's
I would love to
great.
have been born on.
I know she's before next year. So maybe.
How do you do, so you do the 29th?
I let her
instead
choose.
of
Yeah,
the
I just let her
first?
choose when it's not. It's sometimes she'll,
Oh,
she
it's
always
Friday.
usually chooses the 28th, but sometimes she'll choose first because it's on a Friday. right? Just easier for her.
Oh, she was just like, yeah, not this year, we'll do March.
Well, I asked her what we we're gonna do for her permit, and she said that, well, I go, Dad, I got to play, and I made a state FFA for a speech, she made it to that.
Awesome.
She, I don't even, it's funny, because we're like, she's not an ag kid, I've ever been an ag, like, I grew up doing ag stuff,
Mhm.
and so it cracks me up that she, her speech was about small farms.
I know you
and she
are.
researched about small farms,
Oh,
but she just was doing it for this.
Thank you.
Stuff.
Norma Ayala, we have a correct spelling.
You guys will be happy to see the financials because I read a report and our membership
skyrocketed.
January were 15,000.
Resolutions came in? Yeah.
Now I gotta keep them going, but
New
we're
year.
on track for February to beat it. February will be.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait till
You don't find the managers coming to the board meetings, do you?
No, as long as we are, so the point of not, so we got away from and wanted the reports because it gave the board the opportunity to review them ahead of time. And then we
Sure.
didn't have to sit there and listen
Sure.
to everybody in the flow of speech, and we could just read it, and we
Right.
had questions we could ask.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, we would never discourage people coming because we
Well,
want people to come.
Rebecca
So-
did. And if
So,
made them feel like they were not trusted,
just another 22, 24.
and that's not a good way for an employee to feel.
So you have a city.
I'm sure we'll find out even more in the next so many minutes, more stuff.
Like, don't know how to work here.
They just get you a discount.
Thank you, dear.
I think it's like, it'll be like 63.
75.25, and then take out
Taxes.
Sean, Bradley, 13,000. Great.
Well, no.
The lawyer says she falls under one of my.
Okay, did we adjourn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Six, sorry.
All right, have a great night.
Just say it
Bye.
like it. 8:04.
Well, happy birthday.